And the three of them combined for 50 points a game. They're the third leading trio in the nation, the Big 12 champions TCU. As we take a look at FDU, they bring a veteran lineup to this Fort Worth site. They ran through the NEC regular season. They won the tournament championship. It's their first NCAA appearance, but not for that woman. Stephanie Gately has taken 4 different teams to the NCAA tournament. As we get started here in Fort Worth, a great crowd on hand. TCU, the number 2 seed, hosting, and they're in the white jerseys with the first possession of the game.
FDU, usually a team that plays a lot of zone, coming out in man-to-man against TCU.
And Sedona Prince throws it past the basket. FDU will push it up. Let's take a look at today's starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. FDU out of Fairleigh Dickinson University gets the first basket of the game by Tanisha Brown. She's coming off a game where she scored 34 points in the NEC final to get that automatic qualifier. TCU's starting lineup, Connor, Van Lith, and Prince we talked about, but Donovan Hunter, the transfer from Oregon State, Agnes Eminopu, the transfer from Stanford, such important parts of this team.
And a terrific start here for FDU with their defense. And also, we see Brown being extremely aggressive with the basketball. She's able to pound inside and score inside, but she's taken a couple of outside shots.
Madison Connor takes it all the way to the basket. She is fouled. Connor averages just under 15 points per game for the Horned Frogs, all Big 12 first team. The active Division I leader in games with 5 or more three-pointers. She can light it up.
What I think is incredible about Madison Connor is her ability also to put the ball on the deck. Last season, we saw that when Haley Van Lith was not with this TCU team, she was one of those players that scored 20 points a game along with Sedona Prince, and she did a little bit of everything. This year, her scoring has mostly come from the three-point line, but she's certainly capable of getting to the rim.
She misses the second. The foul was on Tanisha Brown, their leading scorer. And FDU will inbound it in the backcourt. This FDU team returned all 5 starters from last year. They were preseason picked to win the NEC, and then they added another component. Ava Renninger is a freshman, and she was named all NEC Rookie of the Year. There she is with the basketball in her hands. So quick with the ball. She steps on the line there, misses, and then a foul committed by Donovan Hunter on the rebound for TCU. The FDU coach is the legendary Stephanie Gately. She has taken 10 teams to the NCAA tournament in her 39-year career. This FDU team, Fordham, St. Joe's, and Richmond.
And her team has come out ready to play. And that's the one thing when you talk about having a freshman at the point guard, but experience everywhere else. These experienced players are not intimidated by playing against TCU today. They have done a terrific job defensively and offensively in the first 2 minutes.
Sedona Prince, number 13, with the basketball in her hands. Also an all Big 12 first teamer. Player of the year in the Big 12, Van Lith, missing that one, and then a whistle and a foul on the rebound called. The head coach for TCU, Mark Campbell, in his 2nd season, and he has assembled this squad over the last 2 years through the transfer portal. He said the acquisition of talent is the first part, and then building upon that comes afterwards. Big foul there called on Tanisha Brown, her 2nd. So we'll keep an eye on that. She stays on the court for FDU. And then a foul called on Hunter, her 2nd as well. So Brown is going to have to take a seat for FDU.
That's really unfortunate. You hate it when you come to the NCAA tournament and then you have to sit for extended minutes because of foul trouble. It takes just a little while to get the feel for the level of play here today.
Renninger passes it off, short by Babore. TCU has not scored a field goal yet. Haley Van Lith takes care of that.
And that gets the crowd into it. TCU has built a fan base here. Great advantage to be able to host at home for the first time.
They have not won an NCAA tournament game in 19 years. They haven't been to the NCAA tournament in 15. However, TCU would have gone to the tournament in 2020 had COVID not eliminated that opportunity. Agnes Eminopu too strong from the corner.
Eminopu is another player that has a lot of experience and certainly a capable shooter from three.
Rinninger hasn't got one to go yet.
I like her aggressiveness.
Connor, one of the best three-point shooters in the country, can't get that one to drop, so everybody's shaking off the nerves here a little bit in the early moments of the first round.
Both of these teams really like to shoot the three-pointer, though, so it's not unusual to see the ball fly.
Yeah, both average a lot of three-pointers per game as Park throws that one up. FDU averages just over 8 three-pointers made a game. TCU #1 in the Big 12 with just under 10 three-pointers made per game.
Here's that pick and roll game that Sedona Prince and Haley Van Lith run quite often.
And they're going to go call an offensive foul on Prince. She had her defender outsized, and FDU knew it and drew the offensive foul.
And that's what you have to do against a big like Sedona Prince. Prince is somebody that likes to play inside and out. She will put the ball on the floor, and FDU early has been physical with her, double teaming her. Gets the foul drawn. And that's one way to neutralize Prince. If you can get her in foul trouble, get her out of the game potentially, it levels the playing field a little bit.
And that was Abby Babore who drew that foul. Three-pointer blocked. That time, Lily Park had that blocked on the way to the basket. Van Lith tries to create. This crowd is just waiting to erupt. Madison Connor. A rare mid-range jumper for Connor.
We're going to see the pick and roll used throughout the game with TCU, especially in the first quarter. I see them utilize that. Sedona Prince, a big part of that. Then having another scorer that can knock down the shot.
Babore with the basketball in her hands, all the way to the rim, and she scores.
To see the English on that shot. Terrific shot by Babore right there. Abby Babore is not intimidated to play against these elite players in the game today. She's one of their best defenders, if not their best defender, and can score.
Haley Van Lith knocks down the three-pointer.
You can tell she has come to play today. HVL is intense at both ends of the floor, and she's always intense, but it looks like she has a different gear right now.
She has played in more NCAA tournament games than anybody in the field. Of course, starting her career at Louisville for 3 years, then LSU last year, and now at TCU. Babore looking for someone to pass it to right into the hands of Van Lith. Van Lith with the basketball, and then a foul away from the ball called on Bella Toomey. TCU up 8-6 here in the first quarter. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? The first round is presented by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is taxes. Welcome back to Fort Worth, where the TCU Horned Frogs up 8-6 on FDU out of the NEC Conference. And this FDU team, not intimidated. We talked about how experienced they are, but specifically, Abby Babore actually played with and against Hannah Hidalgo in high school.
Yeah, when Abby was a senior, Hannah Hidalgo was a freshman in high school. I ran into Guido and Colleen Babore today at breakfast and spoke with them extensively about Hannah and Abby playing against each other from the time they were younger. And so for Abby in a situation like this, she eats up the opportunity to go against an elite player because she knows what that means.
And it's such an interesting story for Abby because she started as a walk-on at FDU, earned a scholarship as Van Lith misses there. And then this year, they were out of scholarship. She was done with her career. She was going to have to move on, but they had a player from Sweden that didn't come back, and she got a scholarship to play again this year and finish up her eligibility. A terrific shot there by Lily Park to give FDU the lead.
And Park is a three-point threat from New Zealand. Love how these players have come out to play, but you just can't guard that easily if you don't have the size. And at 6'7", I think one of the things that Prince has done so well this year is figured out how to score more in the paint. She's more comfortable this year than she's ever been.
Sedona Prince now on the board for TCU with a couple of points. Renninger trying to shake loose, can't get that one to drop the freshman, the rookie of the year in the NEC. Robertson, number 23, into the game for TCU.
Double team.
She has the ball in the corner, puts it on the floor. One of the players, the only player, averaging over 5 points a game for TCU that started their career here at TCU.
That's a foul right there on Prince. I believe that is her second foul in the game, and she will be left in. And this is one of the things that Mark Campbell does with especially his veteran players, which he has a lot of. He trusts them on the floor, gives them time on the floor, isn't going to pull them immediately, but knows that they will be smart.
Nice crossover by Renninger. Good recovery from Haley Van Lith.
Boy, she's a good-looking freshman out there as a point guard, number 4 in blue.
And she tries to pass the ball across the court, and it gets away from Abby Conklin.
Yeah, I think just the physicality of Van Lith defensively is something probably Renninger hasn't seen all year. She has that ability to get over the top of a screen and keep her contact, legal contact, and just forces a turnover.
Deasia Merrill came into the game to replace Sedona Prince for TCU.
Merrill's played some good minutes on the inside. No double team, and she's going to go to work.
Too strong, and then a foul. There was a push on the rebound attempt. The foul was called on Renninger, the freshman, for FDU.
There's number 3, Merrill, right there at 6'1". Started her career at Kentucky, was injured, played at Georgia State for 4 years. She has been a spark off the bench, and when she gets minutes, she has been productive.
Brown is back onto the court for FDU with those 2 fouls. She was tracking on Van Lith there, and then Van Lith misses it, and it will be the Knights basketball.
I think it just shows you, if number 20 is back in the lineup for FDU, how important she is to this team. She is their, she's just their heart and soul in the middle. She has been playing inspired basketball.
Yeah. Definitely inspired. They felt a little snubbed that she did not win NEC Player of the Year, and there she is. Tanisha Brown went through the NEC tournament and averaged 28 points and 10 rebounds in their 3 games as Taylor Bigby answers back for TCU.
That's a good decision right there. Also going against Brown, who had those fouls, got a clear lane to the basket.
How about FDU coming in here, not being intimidated in Schulmeyer Arena. Brown making a tough move around Merrill, and she already has 8 points in this game. And it tries to pass down low to Merrill, and it gets well defended. Again, FDU with the ball.
Yeah, one of the things with Brown is she is versatile. She's got the ability to knock down the shot from the perimeter. Started playing netball when she was young, so she can shoot, and has that old school step through that people like to call a Euro step or something, but it's really an old Iowa 6-man, good old-fashioned step through.
She is from Jamaica. That's why she started playing netball. Beautiful move into the paint by Kayla McDonald, a freshman off the bench. FDU has made 5 of their last 6 field goal attempts. And another turnover for TCU. Out in transition to McDonald. She pulls it back.
really good decision making right now for FDU.
And Brown has Haley Van Lith on the block, and they didn't get her the ball. Nice drive to the basket by Abby Babore.
You might say give the ball inside to Brown against Van Lith, and some might say, hey, give the ball to a guard that's been guarded by Merrill in that situation. And FDU with a great decision.
The whistle is blown, and the officials are going to come together. They are going to call a blocking foul. As our officials today are Brian Garland, John Capolino, and Tashania Smith, as we see that play again.
Eminoku is so strong with the ball in her hands, and we've talked about the big three. I think the key to all of this working is Agnes Eminoku, who's taking free throws right now. She is just so strong and such a complete basketball player and willing to play any role. Won a national championship with Stanford prior to transferring to TCU a couple of years ago, and she has been the heart and soul of this team.
First quarter is winding down. Reniger trying to get past Haley Van Lith, passes it off, turns it over. But what a first half for the NEC champs. FDU comes into Fort Worth to the home court of TCU and takes a 17-14 lead at the end of the first quarter. The NEC tournament MVP, Tanisha Brown, coming out strong here on the road in her first NCAA appearance. 8 points on 4 of 5 from the field as she leads the way for FDU as they're up 17-14 as we start the second quarter. Let's check out how they're fueling the run, brought to you by Wendy's. And Andrea already shooting 50% from the floor. We talked about Brown's 8 points, and they're outscoring TCU in the paint in the early going.
Interestingly enough, those 4 forced turnovers as well have led to 4 points. And one of the things that FDU wanted to do to hopefully neutralize Sedona Prince and TCU was to run the basketball. I think they have kept pace as far as how they've been playing with TCU extremely well, and they have been really confident.
So FDU will have the basketball to start the second quarter. They're in their blue jerseys with the burgundy trim.
And just a reminder, 2 fouls on Brown in blue and 2 fouls on Sedona Prince, who's sitting on the bench right now.
FDU started as they travel there. They started the game just 2 for 9, but since then have gone 6 of 7 from the floor for the 50%, but a turnover on their first possession of the second quarter.
Coach Gately, calm down, you have it. That is one of the most chill coaches that you will ever be around. A wonderful coach, wonderful person. Great at developing programs.
Hunter goes strong with her left hand.
That's one of the things with Donovan Hunter. She has really gotten into her groove as the season goes on for TCU. Really a pure point guard, allows Haley Van Lith to move to the off guard a lot.
It's her first basket of the game. She averages just under 6 points per game for TCU. Here goes Brown to work. Double figures already for Tanisha Brown.
Yeah, if you look under crafty basketball, that is what it looks like. Those step-through moves up and under. If you can't go over the top of somebody, you go around them.
TCU has Sedona Prince on the bench. Hunter dials up a 3, splashes it in.
Yeah, nice job. Hunter just showing a lot of poise right now. Hunter is just a sophomore. Transfer, started her first year at Oregon State.
She ties this one up. Nice backdoor cut from Reniger, and she scores.
Wow, that's just a pretty basketball move. As a team, great job of a read and react and pass. But how about Reniger? She is so smart out there.
From the corner, no for Eminoku. And here comes another freshman, McDonald and Reniger, the heir apparents for this program. So many veterans in the lineup, but 2 really crafty freshmen as well. There's Reniger, off the mark that time.
Yeah, Hunter, number 4 in white, has a little bit of size on Reniger. Reniger's just 5'6". Hunter at 6 feet was able to navigate those 3 screens in a row and bother Renninger in her shooting action. Back in the lineup, Prince for TCU. So both post players with 2 fouls for each team.
Van Lith, no. Had a few just well off the mark so far. TCU's the number 2 seed here in the Birmingham Regional 3 as Madison Connor does what she does best.
Just such a tremendous shooter. And you said one of the best shooters. I think she's the best shooter in the nation this year. So much ability to score from deep.
Brown missing that one. Yeah, Madison Connor, number 2 in the country in 3-pointers made on the season, comes into the NCAA tournament with 118 3-pointers made. Prince reaches up high for the hook.
That's that low post game that Prince has really developed since she's arrived on campus here at TCU. In the past, she's been shy to take the ball into the paint, preferring to shoot a 3 or play outside.
Both these teams with historic seasons. Most wins in the history of the program for both of these teams as Babore is fouled and goes in. She'll go to the free throw line. FDU 29-3 on the year. TCU 31-3. Both these teams just having historic years. As we mentioned, FDU, this is their first appearance in the NCAA tournament.
And who's at the line but Abigail Babore. Coach talked about the fact that she went through summer workouts with the team, didn't have that scholarship, so she was sort of just participating. And she's like, Coach, I got to pay for school. I don't think I can stay and do this. Got the scholarship at the last minute and it was freed up. And Coach Gately talked about the fact that they really missed her when she was out for just that short period of time, a couple of weeks at the beginning of the season, how important she has been to this team.
She's a grad student and a captain of the team.
And started out as a walk-on as a freshman.
Van Lith. Hunter with the rebound. Connor. No, rims in and out. Renninger out top for the Knights. Brown looking down low. Boy, Lily Park was working hard on the post-up, and they didn't get her the basketball. Van Lith goes inside to Sedona Prince. She's fouled. Now, is that on Brown? Because if it is, that will be the 3rd foul. Let's take a look at who they called the foul on. They actually called it on Lily Park, so a sigh of relief for FDU.
Well, we've seen Prince go down low and really try to establish that game and put pressure on Brown, who has the 2 fouls, to have to guard her. And FDU's brought that double team, sometimes from the guard, this time from Lily Park. That's a post player. And Park gets the foul.
Abby Conklin passes it over to Bellatumi.
That's just a nice job of reading right there. Conklin had a great box out at one end defensively, playing her heart out here, and then finds the shooter in the slot.
And Sedona Prince called for the travel.
That's Bellatumi again. A lot of players have been thrown at Sedona Prince here today. Tume just 5'11", guarding 6'7" on the interior. Terrific job of just walling up.
FDU down by 1 here in the 2nd quarter. The 15 seed hanging in there. And then dragging the foot, so a travel by Park before Sedona Prince could swat that ball away anyway. TCU, the number 2 seed, up just by 1 here in the 2nd quarter. FDU coming out of Hackensack, New Jersey. Thought they would take in a little of the local flavor as they went to Billy Bob's for a little line dancing in Fort Worth. How fun is that?
Hey, I'm taking you. You've never been to Billy Bob's. I'm taking you tomorrow night.
Let's go. And how fun for this FDU team. They're coming in on a 22-game winning streak. They didn't lose a game in the NEC this year. They were 16-0 in the regular season. Went through the tournament. Longest streak in program history, and Stephanie Gately already with 700 wins in her career. Such a legendary coach at 6 different spots during the coach of her D1 career. And they're within 1 point of TCU as Madison Connors stretches it out to 4-point lead for the Horned Frogs.
Mark Campbell, you know, he has an extended time out at that break, and he can draw things up. He can move pieces around on the board and finds Connor, who's been hot.
Big B picks up the foul on the drive. As Babore.
This is what I think TCU does extremely well. They bring Sedona Prince out. You see that pin down right there by Haley Van Lith. And that's that trio we talked about that works so well together. Connor's ability to not be a knockdown shooter, so critical to that whole element.
Tanisha Brown back into the game, number 20 inside. She's got 2 fouls. She's in double figures scoring, challenges Sedona Prince, but too strong off the backboard. Connor uses the screen from Prince, takes it right at Brown.
Yeah, absolutely. You take Prince down a few times a couple of minutes ago in the lane, and now you've brought her out as a screener, as a passer, and look what it opens up down low. Pretty play.
Madison Connor now in double figures with the 11. There's Brown. Again, she's going to try to take it at Prince, but Prince challenges her. Prince is number 1 in the Big 12 in block shots per game. It is tough to go up over her 6'7" length inside. Van Lith, no, battling for it. And then Van Lith going to pick up a foul, trying to sneak in there and grab the loose ball. She's got a smile on her face. She knows she tried to get away with one there, and she got caught. That's her second foul. So she will go to the bench, replaced by Donovan Hunter. So TCU now with Sedona Prince with 2 fouls. Hunter has 2 fouls, as well as Van Lith. Lily Park from New Zealand. Her parents came all the way from New Zealand to watch her play in the NEC championship. Connor, a little hesitation, and that ball gets away from her.
And Park's parents also made the trip here to Fort Worth, Texas to watch their daughter play. It's a long way to travel, but they're excited to be here. And you know, the intriguing thing about this game is I know TCU has a tremendous amount of respect for FDU. They are playing hard right now, but the ability that FDU has right now to maintain poise, to continue to attack, sure, there's been mistakes, but overall, they have played very well here.
Shot clock at 7. Renninger. Park pulls up, too strong. And Donovan Hunter comes away. And driving in, Taylor Bigsby gets called for the offensive foul.
And who else but Abby Babore taking that charge right there. She is all over the place. And again, walk-on, turn starter, turned essential player. She does a terrific job of moving her feet and getting in position.
And you can see how Bigby put her shoulder down. Bigby so valuable to this team for what she does with the basketball, away from the ball, defending, rebounding. Didn't score a point in the Big 12 tournament, though, as Renninger misses the 3-point attempt. We talked to Mark Campbell at practice yesterday, and he said, you know, the thing about playing a number 15 seed, you know how good they are. They didn't just come into this tournament without winning 29 games for a reason. This is a good, solid team, and we have to make sure we are ready to play, and FDU has been all of that here in the first half. Big B kicks it away.
8 on the shot clock.
Renninger looks over at Stephanie Gately. Pulls up. What a tough shot. And lets out a roar. That ended a scoring drought of nearly 4 minutes. But just like you would expect from the experienced team TCU has, Madison Connor answers right back.
And that mid-range game of hers is also very dangerous on the move. I think she is so hard to guard.
Knocked away. And it will stay on this end. Well, coming up at halftime, the Degree in the studio. We'll have first half highlights. Learn a little bit more about Notre Dame advancing. We're in the same regional as Notre Dame. They're the number 3 seed. TCU, the number 2 seed. 4 on the shot clock. Renninger dials it up. Bounces, almost drops it in.
A wide open lane right now for TCU. I expect somebody to get it down low. Just like
Nopu is fouled by Conklin, I believe, and it will send Eminoku to the free throw line.
Anytime TCU has Prince and Merrill both out of the game, they are essentially playing with 5 guards out there and can certainly spread the floor on you. See Eminoku again. We mentioned she has a national championship. I won't do a quiz on you again today.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Eminoku at the free throw line knocks that one down. Eminoku, in her time at Stanford, in just 3 years, earned her human biology degree with a concentration in neuroscience. She wants to, in her career, help find treatments for neurodegenerative diseases. Way more important than basketball broadcasters.
Impacting the world, baby.
Love it. We are counting down the final seconds of the first half. TCU with the 8-point lead. Park, crowd on their feet, blocked away and stepped on the line, Babore, and a good defensive stand for the Horned Frogs.
I'm just wondering if they're going to check the clock right here. Good job of recognition. The shot clock's coming down. You see Park put the foot on the floor right there. The shot clock, or the clock is still running, so they will be adding time to the clock. A little bit of a review.
They put 1.3 on the clock, so took care of that matter quickly. I heard them announce it, but the clock has not changed. There it is on the main clock, 1.3. TCU with a chance here. Haley Van Lith, does she get it up in time? No. But a good first half for FDU. But TCU answering back as they outscore FDU 21-10 in the second quarter. Let's get you to the studio with Al Duncan, Shanae Ogwumike, and Andrea Carter. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. You're watching the first round presented by Intuit TurboTax. Welcome back to Fort Worth, Texas, on the TCU home court, along with Andrea
You can call me
Andrea Lloyd. I'm Brenda Van Lingen. There's the halftime score, 35-27 at the half. I almost called you Andrea Carter.
That's right.
That's Andrea Lloyd. I'm Brenda Van Lingen. Thank you so much for joining us once again. What a first half we had. This FDU squad that has won 22 straight came out, outscored TCU on their home court in the first quarter, but then TCU settled in the second quarter, looked like the Big 12 champions.
Yeah, really the first 15 minutes, FDU was tremendous. A lot of that had to do with Brown, and despite having 2 fouls and sitting for quite a while, she was tremendous, I thought, in the first quarter. She put on a show, really, as far as post moves and scoring at the mid-range level. She had 10 points in this first half, and kind of showed why she was such a tremendous player in league play. And for TCU, I thought it was role players, and really for them, they had 2 players that stepped up in those last 5 minutes. Connor, obviously the shooter, she came out, had 10 points in the second quarter, and Donovan, who had 7 points in the second quarter. Took them a while to get going, though, TCU.
Well, let's check out today's game track, brought to you by Invesco QQQ. You can see FDU missed 7 of their last 8 shots. TCU outscored them 21-10 in the second quarter. As you mentioned, Connor got hot, and TCU did what they needed to do here on their home court. See what kind of halftime adjustments both these teams make, as the winner will advance to play the winner of our next game, which is Louisville and Nebraska, coming up. That'll be at 5 o'clock local time, Central Time, on ESPN. Turnover for TCU on their first possession.
It'll be so important for FDU to figure out ways to score here in the second half. As you mentioned, they had that drought in the second quarter. Somebody needs to step up and put some points on the board.
Ava Renninger.
Great ball movement.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Brown steps out away, and a great shot over Sedona Prince.
Yeah, terrific job of recognizing the shot clock, getting the ball off over a taller player.
12 points now for the NEC tournament MVP. And a steal by Renninger. Renninger challenging Hunter. No, misses the layup. And TCU back the other way. Prince backing in Brown. Ball gets away from her and banks it in.
Yeah, good job by Sedona Prince, just keeping her composure after missing the first shot. Again, she's getting such a low position on the block, no double team. That's what she can do.
8 points for Prince, who averages about 18 points a game for the Horned Frogs. There's Brown, who just got a call from the Jamaican national team. How about that? Missing on that layup, but what an honor for her, the native of Jamaica, to hear from the national team just this week.
Oh, she certainly has proven over the last 10 or 15 games, average double-doubles, had that huge game in the conference championship.
Madison Connor. Oh, come on. You know you're a good three-point shooter when.
Well, she has just come alive in the end of that second quarter and kept it going here in the second half.
The crowd is on their feet here in Fort Worth as FDU calls a timeout.
Yeah, TCU getting hot later in the first half, and then here in the second half, Madison Connor does what Madison Connor does.
Well, the #1 overall seed UCLA is in action tonight. They face off against 16 seed Southern at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Congratulations to Southern getting their first ever win during March Madness in the NCAA tournament. That is a tall task with Lauren Betts and the overall #1 seed.
Yeah, congratulations to Southern, and your prize is playing the #1 overall seed. UCLA, what a season Corey Close and her squad have had, winning the Big Ten tournament championship and earning that #1 overall seed. Lauren Betts will be on display tonight. Looking forward to that. FDU called a timeout. Try to get things under control here as the lead has grown for TCU. Sedona Prince snuffing out that shot from Brown.
Those long arms of Sedona Prince are imposing. Again, at 6'7" inside, you can't really go over her, so you try to go around and get blocked on the up and under. That's, I think, what makes Prince so special is her agility. She is a very unique player.
Brown can't convert, but the shot clock will be reset to 20. It stays FDU basketball. FDU, the champion of the Northeast Conference, the NEC. They won the regular season and the tournament title and come in on a 22-game winning streak. 7 to shoot. Renninger pulls up right on the line. No. And here comes Haley Van Lith. Behind the back pass, and Renninger read it. She pulls back. Good hustle back by Enanopu.
Yeah, Renninger saw those long arms of Emanopu and rightfully pulls the ball back out to set up.
Renninger keeps her dribble going. Out to Brown. Brown rises up. That's a good place to shoot from.
Well, absolutely. And you've had your shot blocked. Now the play before on the inside, you could bring yourself outside. And you mentioned in the first half, you can tell that she shot a lot of basketball in her life, even if it was netball, same sort of thing. With netball, you don't have a backboard, though. So you have to learn to shoot precisely.
The kick out to Emanopu for the three. That's her first three-pointer made in this game.
Yeah, it took a couple in the first half. 70% of her shots come from three, but she is a knockdown shooter from the perimeter.
She shoots 36% from range.
One of those critical role players for TCU.
Babore picks up her dribble. Can't do that against Haley Van Lith.
Yeah, just didn't have the strength to get the ball back through as she tried to make the pass. Good job by Van Lith.
Haley Van Lith, the Big 12 Conference Player of the Year, transferring in this her 5th season. Has so much NCAA experience, and Sedona Prince does as well.
That gets the crowd into it as well. Blocked one with her right hand, gets the block with her left hand.
3 seconds on the shot clock. Brown gets it in. The shot up by Conklin, short.
There's that pick and roll with Van Lith and Prince. We mentioned it in the first quarter. Haven't seen a bunch of it this game.
Nice rebound by Babore, who is such an important leader, a grad student captain for this team, along with Abby Conklin. If you've been a basketball fan for a while, Abby Conklin may sound familiar to you. She actually won 2 national championships at Tennessee, but that was 25 years ago. This is a different Abby Conklin for this squad as Renninger hits that mid-range.
I thought you were going to talk about Ava Renninger and her playing in the Catholic leagues in Philly, because if you know basketball, that's another historic piece of information.
A lot of tradition and history in the Catholic leagues around Philadelphia, for sure.
Yeah, Prince on down low. She had great position. That's just a terrific finish and a nice find by Donovan Hunter.
Yep. Brown just got buried inside as Prince continues to score. Brown gonna work against Prince. Tries to go up and under. Trying to get creative.
Sedona Prince smiling at the... I'm sure she appreciates the effort of trying to get her around her.
There's Prince.
Really like how they use Prince at the top. She's such a terrific passer and decision maker for TCU.
Connor comes around the handoff. No, boy, that did everything but drop in.
This pace has been very, very fast here in the first 7 minutes of the third quarter, and a lot of people out of breath out there.
And a whistle to stop the action on the court. 3:37 remaining in the third quarter. TCU on their home court up 45-33 over FDU. Welcome back to Fort Worth, Texas. The big three for TCU have combined for 50 points per game this year. You see most of the scoring today coming from Prince and Madison Connor.
Yeah, these guys normally with 50, 31 of the points have come from the three of them today. And this is what makes TCU so special, that they have this kind of talent and they're able to play so well together. It is hard to figure out how to stop TCU. We've seen that here in the second half. Mark Campbell's done a terrific job, I think, of moving his pieces around, putting Connor at the point guard position and running her off of the primary screens. And they just have so many pieces and powerful scorers.
FDU has the shot clock winding down, and Haley Van Lith forces a shot clock violation because it was down to 2 seconds when Renninger hoisted it up. And Van Lith very much aware, playing like a player that has the most NCAA appearances of any player in the tournament right now.
Yeah, 6th in the nation TCU is in blocked shots, and most of it comes from Prince, but they've got a couple of other players that can anticipate and get up there.
And Prince just turned and fired and was way off the mark trying to get the ball out to Aaliyah Robertson.
And again, FDU is double teaming Prince. She needs to take her time when she gets the catch.
Renninger over to McDonald. McDonald almost has it get away from her. Connor hounding.
A little bit more intensity from this TCU defense here in the second half. A little more urgency.
Renninger crosses, trying to find somebody. Gets McDonald too strong. Blocked by Prince. Shot clock winding down, and it's another shot clock violation.
This is the time of year that a team like TCU, with all of their postseason experience, knows when to turn up the heat. And I think defensively, as we mentioned, they're playing with more urgency, a little more flow on offense now compared to that first quarter.
Prince gets the ball inside. Yeah, if you're just joining us, this TCU team with so much experience as Prince scores inside of their roster. It's the first time TCU is in the tournament in 15 years, but 58 games of experience in NCAA play from the players on this roster for TCU. Bigby ahead to Van Lith. Trailing Connor. Dialing it up for three. Babore short. The steal. And a very opportunistic play by Bellatumi.
FDU is not going to back down. They are a reflection of their head coach over there, and Stephanie Gabely certainly says, you know, have respect for the teams, but play hard and fear no one.
Sedona Prince keeps mounting up her totals. 14 points now for Prince.
And again, Prince just gets that low block position, the lob, no pressure on the basketball. Those are easy baskets for TCU.
You talk about not backing down. FDU played UConn earlier this year. It famously was the game that Gino Ariema set the record for most wins in a career. But that was a game that Renninger, the freshman, scored 19 points against UConn. Madison Connor rips another three-pointer.
We have talked about talent with TCU, but now you're seeing the chemistry, the willingness to make the extra pass.
Renninger steps back. TCU out on the move. There's Connor. And maybe a push-off. Yes, Connor gets called for a push-off.
Watching Mark Campbell over there, he totally wanted to clear out right there on that last play for Madison Connor. She has been feeling it, just get a little forearm shiver.
So take us through a little bit. Mark Campbell comes in here 2 seasons ago. He loads this team up with these transfers, but they have embraced his style of play.
And remember, last season, it was a tough season. So they had a ton of injuries. They had to have open tryouts during the season. They had to forfeit a game or two during the season. Didn't have a lot of wins. So the players that came in, the players that were here before Mark Campbell's arrival, have been very resilient in getting to this point and patient.
Time is winding down in the third quarter. An opportunity here for FDU. Rising up is Brown. Big shot to go into the fourth quarter. Haley Van Lith unloads. No. And we'll go to the fourth quarter. TCU in command, up by 15 at the end of the third.
And it's been all about Sedona Prince in the middle, blocking shots, scoring points, and then how about Madison Connor had a tremendous third quarter and her second quarter and doing it again in the third.
Let's check out how TCU is moving on. Brought to you by United Airlines. TCU wins their first Big 12 championship in school history. They swept both the regular season and the tournament. Only the second game in conference history to win it after finishing last place just 2 seasons before. You see, increasing their number of Big 12 wins, 10 this year. As we come back to live action, starting the fourth quarter, TCU leading FDU 52-37. Haley Van Lith gets called for the travel on the first possession, but what a job that Mark Campbell has done here in just his second year, reloading this roster and making some history. Foul called on Robertson inside as she was holding on to Brown as she swatted that ball away.
Robertson, one of those players that was here at TCU before Mark Campbell's arrival. And she has just blossomed under his guidance and with the additional pieces he's put on the team.
Go inside to Brown. She goes up high for it, but can't finish. Sedona Prince is starting on the bench here in the fourth quarter, as well as Madison Connor.
Well, that's something TCU has that they didn't have last year, is more pieces, more depth. They don't score a lot of points, the bench doesn't, but they are critical when it comes to giving rest and production at different times when is needed. That is just a tremendous move right there by Eminoku. That shows you her skill and her strength on the finish.
See her number above her season average.
Oh, when you have a three-point shot like she does, you have to make her put the ball on the deck, and that's the beauty of her game, is her ability to slice through defenses and score at the hoop.
Abby Conklin goes inside to Toomey, who splashes down. Toomey has given a nice lift off the bench. She's got 6 points, the sophomore out of Philadelphia.
Yeah, she loves to put the ball on the floor, have that fadeaway jump shot. Again, one of those players that just has not backed down here today, just a sophomore.
Robertson turns, uses all the rim.
Yeah, nice job by Robertson. You know, she played primarily on the interior, I think, her freshman year. Has had the ability to step out and expand her game over time.
Averages just over 5 points per game.
Great help right there by Robertson.
Renninger. Nice hesitation move, goes to the opposite side. What a move for the freshman.
She has so many skills, and just her ability to keep her head up as she's dribbling in traffic like that, make a terrific decision. And I love the English.
Ava Renninger. And Haley Van Lith has the answer. Van Lith now with 8 points.
And you know, it was just a matter of time before Van Lith got going from outside. She has that triple threat game, outside, mid-range, to the hoop. So powerful.
Swatted out of bounds by Robertson. 15 on the shot clock for the Knights as they'll inbound it on the baseline. Well, for the 5th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, you can go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Brown with the rebound, too strong, but so many great games, those first 4 games the last couple of days, and now we start in earnest today. Connor with the mid-range.
And I think that's just where you're starting to see FDU become worn down with all of the weapons that TCU has out there. Trying to run after all of them is not an easy task.
Mark Campbell comes out onto the court to cheer on his team as they're up 61-41 at 6:51 remaining in the game. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Well, let's take a look at today's Capital One rewarding performance as Madison Connor with 21 points today for the Horned Frogs.
And she has been on the end of some great passes, some terrific screens by her teammate, and has made good decisions. She can score at 3 levels. Certainly has been lights out today. Been fun to watch her play.
As we take a look at her numbers, the 21 points on 4 of 8 from three-point range. As she approaches 5 three-pointers in the game, remember, she's the Division I leader in games with 5 or more three-pointers, as she has 17 in her career. .6:44 remaining in the 4th quarter. FDU, the NEC champions, have come in here and battled. They outscored TCU in the first quarter, but TCU took over in the second. Tanisha Brown showing why she was the tournament MVP in the NEC.
Look at the spacing for TCU, and this back pick is something that they do often. Screen and roll inside for Prince.
Prince posting up on Park, and Van Lith getting around for the score.
Yeah, just multiple options on that play of who you could go to, who could score the basketball. Great execution. I think that's the special thing about TCU this year is that they've brought in 6 more transfers, 4 last year, 6 this year, and they've been able to put the pieces together. They have chemistry, they execute really well, they're very focused.
And this is a team in TCU that gets it done on both ends of the court. They average over 77 points per game, and they hold opponents to 53 points a game. They had a win over Notre Dame earlier this year, being in the same side of the bracket as Notre Dame, something to keep an eye on. As Madison Connor drains another, she's within 1 point right now of the TCU record. The school record for points in an NCAA tournament game is 24, that was set by Ashley Davis back in 2007. And Madison Connor has 26. Excuse me, 23. Excuse me, she has 23. Going to the other side of the rim, a crafty move. No, Brown, though, there to get the rebound. It'll stay on this end. And what a year it has been for FDU and for Stephanie Gately. She is such a legendary coach, but she's been through a tough year in the early stages of the season. Head coach Stephanie Gately lost her sister, Tara Vanderslice-Saylor, to cancer. And Gately has credited a large part of this team's motivation to her sister's memory and has been with them in spirit all season long.
And the Vanderslice family, legendary in the world out there in New Jersey, so she will be sorely missed and has been sorely missed. But that's the beauty of sport, don't you think, that you have an outlet, someplace to put your energy and to not think about the rest of life for 40 minutes or 2 hours during practice. And I know Stephanie Gately's been appreciative of that fact.
Turnover for FDU, and you know, just it's such an important, basketball is such an important part of their entire family and her entire staff as well. Jessica Simmons there sitting by Stephanie Gately, played on the Jamaican national team and was part of getting that call about Tanisha Brown. But Stephanie Gately, she's just somebody you and I have so much respect for. What she has done in basketball, not just as a coach, but as a player as well. And just a legend in our game. As it's tied up, it will be FDU basketball. In fact, Stephanie Gately played in a very important basketball game in the history of women's basketball. She played in the last AIAW championship that was held the same year as the first NCAA championship. She played for Villanova. They placed third in that tournament. They beat Wayland Baptist in the third place game. Rutgers, with Chris Daly, who's an assistant coach for Gino Ariema, won that tournament. And so Stephanie Gately, a very important part of women's basketball history. And a tremendous player and student athlete in college at Villanova, as Haley Van Lith is fouled on the way to the basket. It is a new age, though. After the AIAW came the NCAA, and we have been going at it for a while. And Haley Van Lith is the new player, and that she has been so tremendous, not just as a player with her work ethic, but outside of the sport as well, being a role model. And she completes the three-point play. So now Van Lith with 13 to go along with Sedona Prince 14 and Madison Connor 23 for the big three for TCU. And a nice bank shot by Abby Babore, who is wrapping up her career. Abby Babore and Abby Conklin, the graduate captains on this team, leading them to their first NCAA tournament. Allie McGinn as well, number 33, who has not played today, is also the other senior, playing in her last game, suiting up for the last time. And a held ball will go possession arrow TCU. Tanisha Brown coming back on the court, another one of those grad students. As Hunter goes to the bench for TCU and gets a round of applause, but you see there on the FDU end of the court, Abby Conklin going to the bench, as well as Lily Park. Madison Connor, Prince skies, and finishes it up. Yeah, terrific offense, terrific spacing on that kind of dribble handoff right there, and just Prince is so hard to contain when she gets around the basket. 14 points to go along with 10 rebounds for Sedona Prince, her 16th double-double of the year. McDonald. Connor, short this time. And a foul will send Reniger to the free throw line. Well, coverage of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship continues on CBS, TNT, TBS, and True TV. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. As the crowd here in Schollmeyer Arena in Fort Worth stands for the performance from Sedona Prince. Double-double on the day, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 3 emphatic blocks. It's what we have become used to with Sedona Prince here at TCU, just very consistent play from her. And someone that is extremely motivated to make a deep run into the tournament. Reniger, the freshman for FDU, completes both free throws there. And just a valiant effort from FDU. TCU just too much to handle. Emma Nopu there for an offensive rebound. We talk so much about Madison Connor and Haley Van Lith and Sedona Prince, the big three for TCU, but so many of the other players playing these important roles. And Agnes Eminopu, one of those players with just such a strong rebounder and contributes in so many ways. And you wouldn't ever really want to call her a role player because she has the ability to score. She's got the ability to do pretty much anything on the floor, but she's willing to play a role in this team that is
headlined by the three superstars, Van Lith, Connor, and Prince.
And she goes to the bench. Mark Campbell taking starters out one at a time, so they get their adoration from this crowd. Tanisha Brown, we want to wish her all the best as she has an opportunity to go play for the Jamaican national team. Merrill back into the game for TCU. She catches there in space, and Brown there to be disruptive.
That was a terrific idea to make that behind the back bounce pass to her teammate right there for Ava Renninger, and just good hustle by TCU getting back on defense.
Now Natalie Mazurik coming onto the court for TCU to spell Madison Connor, who wraps it up with 23 points today for TCU. Rebecca Ose-Owusu is into the game, number 21. Three-point shot short, and there's Ose-Owusu. And Stephanie Gately decides to call a timeout in transition to get all of her players to the bench and get a chance to thank them. And what a year for FDU. More wins than any in program history. 29-3. They were the NEC champions. Tanisha Brown wrapping up her career, as well as Abby Babore, Abby Conklin, and Allie McGinn. And the team all coming together, putting their arms around one another, celebrating this first ever trip to the NCAA tournament for this FDU program.
And they have made the most of it. Arrived here a few days ago, made a tour of the Fort Worth and Dallas area, have enjoyed their time here in Fort Worth and at TCU. 29 wins, I mean, that is hard to do. I'm just going to tell you, and anytime you go undefeated in any conference, it is something to be very proud of. There's a lot of pressure on a team like this to come in and have to perform night in and night out. I have to get a shout out too to the band that showed up today for FDU, the South Hills High School band. FDU didn't bring their own band, and so had a little assist from the locals.
Yeah, South Hills High School from right here in Fort Worth to come in and step up for FDU. And hugs abound. Abby Babore, all defensive team in the conference, grad student, former walk-on that has made such a difference in this program. And Stacy Williams, number 1, handling the basketball. Gets a shot in an NCAA tournament game. Talia Baptiste, number 5. Joy Johnson, number 14. Sydney Stokes, 12, is on the court. And the bank in for Joy Johnson, the freshman. Gets to score in an NCAA tournament game. And finally, Allie McGinn is on the court. We've mentioned number 33, another one of those seniors on this team playing in her last game. Deasia Merrill for TCU.
And the fans will be back again on Sunday when TCU faces the winner of this next game, Nebraska and Louisville. That will be a tremendous game, but what an effort by FDU today.
And a shot from Sydney Stokes, another player getting to celebrate scoring in the NCAA tournament. But today the celebration is for TCU, their first NCAA victory in 19 years. Mark Campbell and his squad making the most of their first trip here in 15 years, advancing on to the second round. Again, they will face the winner of Nebraska and Louisville coming up.
And it was a tremendous overall effort, team effort, a lot of different people, 4 different double-digit scorers, led the way by Madison Connor. A big win for TCU that has worked hard for this throughout this season, bringing all those pieces together. And now they are on to the next game.
Congratulations to FDU on an historic season for this program. Tanisha Brown and her teammates, a terrific effort here in Fort Worth. But the Horned Frogs come away with a 73-51 victory, led by Madison Connor with 23, Sedona Prince with 16, and Haley Van Lith with 13 to lead the way for the Horned Frogs. As we take a look at the bracket, you see Michigan and Notre Dame have already advanced. In our regional, TCU moves ahead, and they will play the winner of Louisville, Nebraska, coming up on ESPN at 6 o'clock Eastern, coming up next here in Fort Worth. TCU with their first NCAA victory in 19 years. And on behalf of Andrea Lloyd, I'm Brenda Van Langen. Thanks for joining us here in Fort Worth. TCU with the victory. Let's get you to the studio with Elle Duncan, Chineo Gumake, and Andrea Carter.